But the one thing I like to say to you, Trump, you gotta give me some.
Cause I ain't the one. Gone.
We live in an era where controversy fuels clicks, and some creators are thriving in the chaos. But behind every flashy thumbnail and viral meltdown, there's always someone pushed too far. From creators like Ash Trevino to Kendall K, the internet never runs out of targets. But today we're not talking about them. We're talking about a rising creator who went from chaotic comedy to full-on emotional meltdown, and it's all happening in real time. In this video, we're breaking down the moment it all snapped, the viral rant, the surprise reveal, and the unexpected twist involving his girlfriend. It's messy, it's real, and it's the internet at its rawest. Let's get into it. We're going to dive deep into internet safety and the surprising ease with which personal information can be exposed online. Now, before anyone gets the wrong idea, I'm not trying to sound like a paranoid lunatic, but it's genuinely alarming how quickly you can stumble upon someone's personal details. Take, for example, this one guy I found. It started with his Discord, then from there I found his Twitter. On his Twitter, I found his Instagram, and from there I discovered his dad's profile. Then on his dad's Instagram, I stumbled upon a post where his phone number was just out there for everyone to see. It's honestly like this guy is doxing himself without realizing it. Talk about zero self-awareness. It's an example of how the internet can easily give away your personal life with just a few clicks. We'll be looking at some real-life examples of how this happens, diving into Twitter, Instagram, and even more. But right now, let's take a look at this freak-out video from a Canadian who let his political opinions spiral out of control. The situation got so heated, he ended up exposing himself on live video. So what triggered this whole thing? You guessed it, Trump. So let's watch this and break it down.
Right now, I'm in the same boat. Because I've known a lot of people in the queer community right now that have been there when I was at my worst. That I have friends in the States, and to the people that have literally did not care that this was going to happen, it happened. I hope everyone's happy that we're all going to die. You guys don't even care that basically all this bad stuff's going on. And to the queer community, I am so sorry that, you know, all this bad stuff's happening. I really wish I could do more to help. But there's something I can't really do because I'm Canadian. But the one thing I like to say to you, Trump, you are a disgrace! You ruined everything! How dare you put the queer community and everyone in jeopardy because you want to be president, because you want to ruin everything our queer community built! Yeah!
Right here, we're diving into a political rant that escalates pretty quickly. The person in the video starts off talking about the struggles in the queer community, mentioning how they've been supported during their worst moments by friends, especially in the States. However, their frustration becomes evident as they start lashing out. They express their anger, saying that nobody seems to care about the ongoing issues, and at one point even goes as far as to say, "We're all going to die." The person seems incredibly upset, and their rant targets those they feel are indifferent to the struggles of the queer community. But the real turning point comes when they direct their anger at President Trump. With a lot of emotion, they seem to call him a disgrace, accusing him of putting vulnerable communities at risk for the sake of his presidency. The rant becomes more heated, and they're visibly frustrated, even blaming Trump for ruining everything. The video shows an extreme level of distress as they keep repeating how angry they are. This person's anger is palpable, and honestly, it's kind of shocking to see them so upset. I didn't realize just how deeply some people feel about the issues until I saw this. But at the same time, it's hard not to notice the over-the-top delivery. This person is shirtless, pacing around, yelling, and really laying it all out. The intensity of their emotions is, well, hard to comprehend. It's a mix of frustration, fear, and outrage. And honestly, some of it's pretty funny in hindsight. You can hear the voice crack, the frustration boiling over. You just know that after turning off the camera, he probably spent the rest of the day processing that anger in a much quieter, more emotional way. It's like this person's whole world was falling apart in that moment. Let's move on to the next part, though. This one's a little less intense. Now, one of the most bizarre and over-the-top moments in this creator's online journey in this dramatic apology video where he announces that he's leaving TikTok for good. In the clip, he kind of says things like, "I'm sorry that I was stupid, I'm sorry I'm dumb," and even goes so far as to say, "The fame gets in my head and my life's over."
I love gay. I think it is really hot to watch two dudes touch each other because I love men, and nothing better than one man is two men when they're touching.
Hello, good morning. I don't feel.
Not gonna lie though, I feel like Kim Kardashian would make a really good president actually. I agree. Or you have Beyonce as president, that'd be more cooler too. And Kim Kardashian, if you see her, I'm your biggest fan, you're pretty cool.
It reads like a cry for help, but also, let's be honest, the entire thing feels like massive engagement bait. Viewers have pointed out that this isn't the first time he's made a big exit speech either. If you take a look at his Twitter, it's a pattern. He claims he's quitting every few months, swears he's gone for good, and then pops up the next day, often posting questionable content. This final video also includes some truly wild moments. Like when he randomly raises his arm and you can spot dark specks under his armpit. People online immediately jumped on this, comparing it to infamous internet figures with known hygiene issues. Whether it's bed bugs, scabies, or something else entirely, it left viewers disturbed. And then there's the nose picking. Mid-apology, he casually digs into his nostril. It's hard to take a dramatic goodbye seriously when it's paired with that level of personal grooming on camera. A lot of people were half expecting a ukulele to come out at any second to complete the stereotypical influencer apology formula.
I'm leaving TikTok for good now. And to the people that have hurt on this app, including famous people I knew, I'm sorry I weirded you guys all out. I'm sorry that I was stupid. I'm sorry that I'm dumb. I'm sorry. To all the people that I knew on this app, I'm sorry for everything. The fame gets in my head. This is my final video, so I don't know what else to say. My life's over.
What really stands out is how he talks about the fame getting to his head, despite having little visible engagement on his videos. Most comments he gets are either trolls or people mocking him in sarcastic tones he doesn't seem to pick up on. Yet, he still drops lines in videos like, "The Rock if you're watching this," or name drops Lady Gaga and the Kardashians, like he's on their radar. It's clear he believes his platform is far bigger than it really is, and while that confidence might be admirable in some contexts, here it just comes off as delusional. And to top it off, he calls out another creator, Malik, for letting fame get to his head, completely missing the irony. Ultimately, these "I'm leaving forever" announcements lose their meaning when they happen every few months and are followed by a return that's louder and more chaotic than before. But the bigger issue here isn't just the cringe, it's the complete lack of self-awareness that turns every so-called apology into a spectacle.
Hold up. I'm not talking to minors. I'm talking to my friends on VR chat, you stupid because you guys can't keep it in your pants and try to harass people. Yeah, I don't get it, so shut up!
Now let's talk about the lightning round of short, chaotic clips this creator has been pushing out lately. The rapid-fire content ranges from self-obsessed affirmations to drama bait, and it's got the comment sections lit up in every direction. Starting with the first clip, he claims that all his pup friends abandoned him, and honestly that part seems to be true. We might dive into what some fans said about him in a future video, but for now, let's just say the silence around what actually happened is a little too loud.
I'm really happy you guys were honest with me. It's just, I've just been feeling down because every time I tried trusting people in the queer scene, they would constantly sometimes go behind my back, and I made that video just because I was dealing with a lot of trauma with what happened here on TikTok and just everything. I never expected a lot of people to hate me so much. Or people on VR chat just to lash out at me just because of my voice. And yeah, people make fun of how I talk too. People do this to me all the time, psycho, and it's not very much of a good thing like I used to, but what can you do? Nothing. And every time I try to tell them to f off, they just still harass me. I'm happy I still have some people in the furry fandom to talk to, like you, and it actually wasn't, I guess, giving me the confidence to actually maybe get a fursuit again. It's my first full body fursuit I remember getting to, so, yeah.
But here's where it gets interesting. No one involved will give a clear answer about what went down. Every single one of them dances around the topic, and that's raised some serious red flags. It's giving cover up, and it's giving we don't want to admit what really happened. Combined with this creator's claim that he was falsely accused of something, and yeah, it's murky. So as soon as we get the full story, believe me, there will be an update. Once this man straight up says Jesus is non-binary. But somehow that's not even the most shocking thing in the video. What really took me out was his response when someone admired his outlook. Like, out loud, to an audience. Little dragon pup and sexy should not exist in the same sentence. And yet here we are. I think the biggest blasphemy wasn't even the Jesus comment, it was the ego.
Oh, why thank you. Yeah, mostly this is for my cosplay for Jin Kazuma for Tekken, so yeah. By the way, you're really hot yourself, girl. Check you out. Damn.
But wait, there's more. In another clip, he's on Roblox. This is a grown adult, mind you, actively engaging with children on a platform that is overwhelmingly populated by kids. And from what I've seen and heard, the way he behaves on that platform is concerning at best. He flirts, shows off his body, and he starts petty fights with literal children. Like he's out here getting rage-baited by 8-year-olds and losing. That's the energy.
So I don't know why this is, but I met a really cute guy over on Grindr today. Oh my god. He's gorgeous. Like, not gonna lie. Like, he's gorgeous. Goddamn. So hopefully this date will go well, and I know where it's gonna go. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this.
This man should not be anywhere near a children's game. Even if he's not doing anything outright illegal, it's still incredibly weird. And let's be honest, it's not like this is an isolated incident. His Twitter is a whole other level of messy, filled with content that really makes you wonder how he hasn't been banned yet.
So yeah, apparently I officially got to meet up with that guy, my Paul IRL, and let me tell you something, it was spicy. How spicy was it? There was a lot of macking out and a lot of, if you know what I mean. But to be honest, Paul, I'm very happy in my life, because basically, you turned me on so damn hot.
And then we get to the biggest self-report of all those clips, where he responds to hate comments by attacking people's family situations. There's one video in particular where he says something along the lines of, "At least I have a dad who loves me." Like, sir, you're talking to children. And this isn't a one-time thing either. He brings up his dad constantly. It's like a weird badge of honor for him. But here's the kicker. There seems to have been a tweet, an absolute banger, basically drags him for always talking about his dad while simultaneously acting like an internet menace. And it's deserved. When you keep using your family as a weapon against others, especially when you're dealing with minors, the backlash is gonna hit differently. What makes this guy particularly exhausting is that he never, ever logs off. He doesn't take breaks. He doesn't disappear for good. He just deletes accounts and makes new ones. From what I've gathered, this is already his 4th TikTok account. That's not someone being canceled unfairly, that's someone running from something.
I just had a little bit of a rough night, that's all. Because I've been dealing with a lot of depression. If I could put, like, that pain to lyrics, that would actually work really well. I'll see you can make some songs. I really want to get back into making music.
And it gets even shadier. The moment we found his Twitter and trolled him a little, nothing serious, just a few jabs, he panicked. He put everything on lockdown. Tweets gone, TikTok wiped, full digital retreat. It gave caught in 4K energy. The only thing he didn't delete was his Instagram, probably because it's not as active and he figured I wouldn't check it. But here's the thing, people like this never actually leave. No matter how many times they get exposed or run off the app, they always come back. They always find a way. It's like a digital version of playing whack-a-mole, with more filters and less self-awareness. So what do we make of all this? The short clips, the fake apologies, the dad comments, the Roblox drama. It all paints a picture of someone who thrives off controversy and has no clue how to stop. Whether it's intentional or not, he's building a reputation for being the main character in the worst way possible. And honestly, at this point, the internet isn't mad at him, it's tired. Tired of the theatrics, tired of the deflections, and definitely tired of the "I'm leaving forever" act that never lasts more than a week. Let's take a deeper dive into this guy's Twitter timeline, because if you thought the surface was chaotic, the deeper you go, the worse it gets. So buckle up, because we're about to see what happens when someone broadcasts their every unfiltered thought to the world without thinking twice. Now, before we even get into the specifics, I have to say this. I don't think this guy's very smart. I know, bold statement, but hear me out. Just from reading through these tweets, it's clear the man can't spell, can't punctuate, and honestly can barely string a coherent thought together, like in that video. And yet, despite the literary skills of a wet sponge, he has absolutely no issue posting sexually explicit content of himself on Maine. It's not like a cheeky, shirtless mirror selfie or some thirst trap thirst tweet. The cognitive dissonance is wild. Like, how can someone who can't figure out the correct use of would versus would be so capable when it comes to publishing NSFW content? That's a skill set mismatch if I've ever seen one. But anyway, let's start going through these. Here's one tweet. "Anyone on here, would you date me? Yes, that's would spelled like knock on wood wood. Amazing." This is followed, "Anyone in my follow list wants to be my boyfriends with me. I'm so sick of not having any time with some cute men." Then it escalates into, "I wish I had a cute, sexy man in my life again. I'm sick of being single and having men reject me all the time."
I wish I had someone to date. That's boring. I wish I had someone to go to movies with, and vibe, and cuddle, so I can rub their butt. That's it. But what? What's wrong with this?
It's like a diary entry and a dating profile had a meltdown and hit post. There's also this bizarre tweet about Boof the Bear. "I think Boof the Bear is a whole sweetheart, and Boof, you always got a friend in me." Who is Boof? Probably some furry with a large Twitter following he's trying to get attention from. The name alone sounds like a Build-A-Bear factory employee gone rogue. Then there's this. "Puppy is going to MIA forever, so this is my final post. Goodbye to the world." Okay, dramatic exit number 6,343. But spoiler alert, he was back tweeting again the next day. One of the most unhinged things about his account is the way his posts swing between personal breakdowns and intense political rants with no transition at all. For example, "Tweet patterns Trump, go to hell. I hex you, bad luck, that people will go after you and make you feel pain." That's not just politics, that's cursing a US president with voodoo bad luck because he's upset. Like, what? Oh, and here's another classic. "Who wants to be my boyfriend? Because I'm taking boyfriend applications, bears boys, and puppy peepees and sexy femboys." Well, not only is that deeply inappropriate, but it's also giving Craigslist 2007 energy. Then there's this one, pure oversharing. "Well, my ex Hades was showing up in my dreams again, and I'm pissed off. I'm sick of seeing his face everywhere I go." He follows it up with name drops like, "Mark Rate, please leave me alone. I don't miss you at all." Like, bro, you brought him up, no one else. You typed his full government name and hit send. At this point, it's just public digital self-harm. He continues spiraling with tweets like this. "I feel empty in my heart. I feel like no one loves me. I do love myself. I'm just feeling like an outcast in the LGBT community because of my ex." And then somehow transitions from that into, "Most men nowadays, chest or lie, I'm done with Twitter." First of all, I'm not sure what chest or lie means. Is it cheat or lie? Chest as in puffed up pride? No one knows. But then again, decoding his tweets is like trying to translate a fever dream. And just when you think the chaos can't escalate any further, he decides to go on a tangent about Spider-Man, writing, "I wish they made Miles bisexual in Spider-Man and they should have helped him be a better superhero in the film." Like, that sentence alone is a cry for editing. But also, what is it with him and Miles Morales? He cosplays the character, tweets about him constantly, and even expresses a wish that the teenage superhero be bisexual. That would be fine in theory if the fans saying it wasn't a 25-year-old man with a known sexual fixation on the character. It crosses into extremely uncomfortable territory. Then there's the pure venom. Malik, I hope you die in a fire. I curse the day that I met you. You ruined my relationship, you jackass. We later find out Malik was allegedly involved with his ex-boyfriend, Mark Ray. Yes, the one he keeps name-dropping. And based on how often he brings it up, yeah, he's still not over it. And I don't think he ever will be.
You used to be so beautiful, but now you're just a
It's tweet after tweet of emotional instability, broken relationships, political rage, desperate thirst, and self-pity, all wrapped up in the type of spelling errors that make your brain twitch. Honestly, his timeline is a never-ending carousel of crying for help, thirst-trapping, lashing out, and making enemies out of literally everyone who has ever interacted with him online. And we're not even done yet either. After this tweet dive, we're going to switch gears and watch a video that gives even more insight into his behavior. Because if you thought reading this was just wild, then just wait until you see him talk. Now this is where things start to spiral. And honestly, it becomes really hard to defend anything that's happening here. At first, you could just brush it off as just a little bit of public oversharing or maybe even trolling. But when you start seeing tweets like, "I'm wearing my BSM stuff in public, it's so fun," followed by a tangent about how the LGBT community is too cliquey and that's what ruined his last relationship, it's no longer just goofy behavior, it's attention-seeking wrapped in chaos.
Do you realize? No, not really. I mean, is anywhere safe anymore in the world that are safe for people in the queer scene? I don't know. You know, I know what's gonna happen after my post this. People are just gonna spiral it down with hate comments or say like, "Oh yeah, you deserve a type." I just don't know anywhere safe for me anymore. I just don't know what to do. Right, the one thing I think of I just wanna and just so I feel like no one cares for me anymore. Because everyone online, especially when it comes to TikTok, treat me like I'm our And the one thing I can say, it's calling out all the people that keep harassing me on my live streams. You guys really don't understand what I'm going through. You guys sit there and poke fun at me just for being, gay. It's not my fault. I like men, okay? You guys are just freaking teenagers and spoiled kids that don't want to shut the f*** up. And I don't know if I'll ever look at the same way after I found out the annoying orange was literally president. Dude, you're fake. And not to mention you're pretty much a little bit way too creepy. Dude, you're on Roblox. That's more the creepy part. Yeah, it's straight to see you president who on Roblox. So, yeah, like, that would be an okay thing. Not really. I don't know if anyone's safe for me anymore. So, and that other video that I basically saw this comment on, I was crying in that video. Because I've been crying for weeks. Months. After that whole, situation with TikTok and the president being in office. And also the fact that I get treated like in the queer scene.
Because, let's be honest, nobody in the LGBT community told this man he couldn't have friends. Nobody forced him to date someone jealous. That's a story he's telling himself to cope with the fact that maybe, just maybe, people don't vibe with him because he's exhausting to be around. He says family helped him overcome his fears, but then a few tweets later he's melting down over seeing someone in latex pants at a coffee shop. So which is it? Are you living free and proudly kinky, or are you horrified by people doing the exact same thing you're doing? This is the inconsistency that makes everything so hard to take seriously. One minute it's I'm just being goofy. The next minute it's full-blown meltdown mode over exes, dreams, and government checks. And the tweets come fast, like borderline manic fast. 1 second it's Shine's funky Y2K line is to die for, and the next it's Hades, please stop showing up in my dreams, and I'm ending my life because no one in the LGBT scene wants me. That's not just oversharing, that's a cry for attention dressed up as cyberpunk trauma dumping. And it keeps going. Like this man is posting about getting 2 new fursuit heads with what I'm assuming is government assistance money, and then in the same breath is asking when the Canada Post strike is ending so he can get his paycheck. There's an actual tweet where he calls out someone named Malik for stealing his look and harassing his life. You don't even know who Malik is yet, but somehow you're already tired of hearing about him. And trust me, you'll be hearing about him a lot. It's also worth noting that he claims to be bringing cyber Y2K back with collages and NSFW artwork. Which, okay, art is art, but then he goes on to say that he's a zombie, glows like toxic waste, and that's why he calls himself Hazard. Like those dots just aren't connecting. And the worst part, this isn't even the live content yet. This is just the Twitter posts. The live stream section still hasn't started, and we're already neck deep in chaos. One of the lowest points, though, is when he starts saying things like, go and die. The emotional ping pong between desperate neediness and pure vitriol is honestly exhausting to even read, let alone watch. And by the time he's linking to his OnlyFans, trashing people for subscribing, and going on unprovoked rants about exes and dream invasions, you get the sense that this isn't about being expressive or healing. It's about trying to make other people feel as miserable as he clearly does. There's nothing empowering about that. So when he says he's deleting Twitter again, it's not a surprise. It's just part of the cycle. He'll delete it, make a big announcement, then be back 2 days later, probably yelling at Malik again or talking about how his dog is shaped like a taco. It's the same pattern over and over. Meltdown, projection, NSFW tweet, regret, delete, repeat. And it would almost be funny if it wasn't so incredibly sad to see someone stuck in this kind of public breakdown loop, especially when they seem to be broadcasting on purpose. But hold tight, we're not done yet. We still have to get into the live stream where he directly references a video calling him out, and then starts randomly flirting with strangers on TikTok Live. So yeah, strap in.
Well, today it's time to do a Sheen haul, and I officially got my package. Let's open it. Here's the bag. Oh, I don't care what the say about Sheen. I think I have really good products. So, bluntly, I always order stuff from Sheen because they have really good items on there. Why I almost ordered from them? Because they have really good. I don't care what people say. Like, what people say. I bought some. Okay, anyway, so, these are the items I got myself. First package. And I got this bad boy. Not gonna lie, it's adorable. Cannot wait to wear this face in some videos I'll make. Next bag, the Weird Core hoodie. So here's the hoodie in the flesh. Not gonna lie, not bad. Very stylish. Next bag is, certainly not least, the pants. These pants look actually not bad, actually. Now let's try some of these. Let's try to make I feel comfortable with it. First off, let's try basically the pink purple hoodie. Okay, so here's the outfit. Not gonna lie, it's serving cunt mostly. Okay, I was missing his hat.
The moment said he'd be wearing his stuff in public, it's so fun. You just know we're diving headfirst into another episode of Unfiltered Internet Oversharing. And not the harmless kind either. This is the kind that makes you genuinely uncomfortable to even scroll past. Because again, nobody asked. Nobody stopped him on the street and said, hey, you know what would be great? Latex at 9 a.m. But sure enough, there he is, posting about wearing fetish gear to get a coffee like it's the most normal thing in the world. And then, just minutes later, he starts lamenting about how the LGBT community is cliquey and how that ruined his relationship. Like, what does that even mean? It's hard to even trace the logic here. He jumps from the gays are too inclusive to family helped me overcome my fears in the same breath. What fears? Of being exiled from Sheen? Of seeing your ex in a dream? It's a level of disjointed thinking that feels like trying to follow a GPS through someone else's therapy session. But even if the tweets are hard to understand, the visuals are somehow worse. Picture this. You're just popping into a local cafe for a muffin and an oat milk latte, and there's a man in fishnet and latex pants filming TikToks by the napkin dispenser. It's not even just weird, it's off-putting. And I'm not saying dress codes should be enforced by law or anything, but I am saying I shouldn't have to witness a public gimp aesthetic while I'm trying to enjoy banana bread. And when he gets called out for being too much, his response, "I'm just being goofy." Like, no man, that's not goofy. Goofy is wearing mismatched socks or accidentally waving at someone who wasn't waving at you. Goofy isn't weaponizing public discomfort in the name of being funky Y2K. It's a performance and not a particularly good one. Then it's back to TikTok. He films a video in the snow, then immediately cuts it off with some garbled nonsense that sounds like a glitching XQC stream. And he acknowledges it too, like he knows he can't speak clearly, but somehow that just adds to the chaos instead of stopping it. The disorganized communication isn't part of the joke, it is the joke. And the tweets just keep rolling. 1 second he's asking why people hate Sheen. The next he's begging Hades, yes, the literal Greek god, to stop appearing in his dreams. And not in a poetic way either. He actually tweets, "Hades, please stop showing up in my dreams. I'm over you." Like, what are we even supposed to do with that? Is that a metaphor? Is he okay? Then he hits us with the emotional whiplash again. "I'm done with TikTok full of trolls." It's like watching someone scroll through Twitter and a personal diary all at once and just posting everything. No filter, no shame, no sense. And then there's the fursuit heads. He announces that he's buying 2 of them, presumably using his government assistance check, which, of course, he also tweets about. He complains about the Canada Post strike holding up his paycheck like it's some major injustice, when just 5 posts earlier, he was ranting about his ex stealing his cyberpunk aesthetic. Which brings us to Malik, this poor man. Or not poor, we don't know. What we do know is that Malik lives rent-free in his head. Apparently Malik stole his look, stole his boyfriend, and now allegedly haunts his dreams alongside said ex-boyfriend Mark, aka Hades. That's the lore. That's what we're working with.
All things that basically he was saying to me through that video, all the BS that he was talking about, it was stupid, okay? He does more dumb than I do. He uses men for money. I don't. You want to know about the original group, it's him, not me. Dumb.
But it gets darker and dumber. He describes himself as Hazard because he's a cyberpunk, a zombie, and a living biohazard. Sure. But then he posts a video with literal black specks in his armpits, and we're supposed to believe it's all part of the look? Like, no, bro, that's just poor hygiene. Then he flips back into full NSFW mode, saying he's gonna start posting more cyberpunk SM content. He says this like he's blessing the timeline, like people were begging for more. Nobody was. He even links to his OnlyFans and starts subtweeting subscribers like, "He's salty in the comments." Like, what? You promoted the link. You're the one who brought them in. Don't be mad, they have thoughts. And then, because why not, he starts begging Konami to remake Dance Dance Revolution, like that's somehow part of the narrative now. And to cap it all off, he announces yet again that he's deleting Twitter. This is goodbye, he says. But if you've been following him long enough, you know it's never goodbye. It's a 24-hour dramatic pause, followed by a fresh meltdown and 12 new tweets about Malik and Hades by lunchtime. It's honestly exhausting. This isn't quirky. It's not even cringe in a funny way. It's just a mess, an endless loop of self-inflicted chaos that he refuses to step out of. And what's wild is we're still not done. Because up next is the live stream, where he directly responds to someone calling him out, and then immediately starts flirting with strangers like nothing happened. You honestly wouldn't be able to explain what this guy's going for if you tried. And even if you could, it'd be tough to make sense of why he's doing it. Like, take the moment where he's casually talking about how he's tired of being trolled. Instead of just blocking or ignoring the people bothering him, he decides to get all defensive on a live stream.
When it comes to basically to Williams Lake, I got treated so badly up here. Like, I had 2 homeless people come over to my apartment looking for my neighbor Gary, and I'm sitting there like, get the f off my property right now. I told him politely, and I told him again, and they're like, oh, I'm like, wow, rude.
And then the weirdest thing happens. He goes on to say something about his neighbor, Gary, and how 2 homeless people came to his door looking for him. Get off my property, he says, like it's just a regular Tuesday. But the whole thing is so oddly specific, and his reaction to the situation is so overblown that it almost seems like he's playing it up for the camera. Which at this point we're pretty sure he is. You get the sense that he's just trying to stir the pot. It's weird, right? And then when he brings up his ex, Paul, that's where things get even more absurd. Apparently, Paul's a human picker, but can we even trust anything this guy says at this point? He's literally the same person who thinks he's some kind of zombie vampire ghost hybrid. Like, seriously, we're supposed to take that at face value? It just doesn't add up.
And I'm an alien right here. What's up? My name's Barracks. I'm a werewolf tiger dragon hybrid alien from outer space.
And let's not even get started on the whole thing where he's talking about his body, how he's getting bigger, and showing off his abs like it's some kind of big reveal. Like, buddy, nobody asked. Oh, I've lost 25 pounds, he says, like that somehow makes it all better. But then in the same breath, he's still getting trolled by underage kids on his live stream. So maybe, just maybe, if you're really tired of the trolling, don't flash your body on a public platform. Seems like an easy fix, right? But no, he keeps going. He mentions that he's from Williams Lake and how people have treated him badly there. And like, okay, cool, nobody likes being treated poorly. But then he tells us that he loves Ontario, which is super random. Is he trying to make a point here, or is he just listing things he likes at this point? Now we've got to talk about the music bit. Oh, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, apparently this guy's all about hyperpop, dubstep, and EDM. I'm sorry, but how is this relevant? It feels like he's just grasping for anything to seem interesting. It's a weird flex, honestly. You're sitting there watching him just hoping it'll all make sense, but it doesn't. It's a mess of disconnected thoughts. And the worst part, he keeps talking about the haters who come to his live stream. But it's like, dude, you're literally asking for it. Every time you open your mouth, you're inviting more hate. Maybe it's time to consider private streams or just turning off the comments for a while. Oh, and that weird little tongue-out, eye-closed emote thing he does. Yeah, that's the most infuriating part. It's like he's trying to be cute, but it's just uncomfortable. Like, why? Why is that necessary? It's driving me nuts just thinking about it. In the end, what really stands out about this whole stream is the hypocrisy. He's complaining about being misgendered, but when you watch him interact with others, it's pretty clear that he's doing the same thing. And on top of that, he keeps throwing around these outlandish claims about people, making everyone in his stream question whether they should believe him or just laugh it off. It's just a never-ending cycle of contradictions and confusion, and honestly, it's exhausting to watch. And with that, we'll be wrapping up this video. We could go on and on about the wild comments from this stream, but we've already covered more than enough to get the picture. Trust me, these clips weren't even the most out there, they were just the ones that stood out the most. To give you an idea of how much we didn't touch on, let me just list a few. Like when he randomly went off on a tangent about being a zombie vampire hybrid, or the time he brought up his questionable human accusation against his ex. At the end of the day, it's clear this guy's just not built for the attention he's chasing. There's definitely a place for people who want to share their weirdness online, but when you're constantly in the spotlight, you have to be ready to face the backlash, especially when you put yourself out there with zero filter. You just can't speak freely and then act surprised when the criticism comes rolling in. That's just how the internet works.